All right. Just saying that we up. Shalom. Yeah. So first and foremost, we want to give all praises to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashem,
Bashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushai,
Bahashem,
Bashem,
Rakah,
Rakah,
Kadash.
Kadash.
Double honors to the apostles and those who were well. Peace and salutations to all the Sisakia enduring afflictions, making their calling and election sure. Shalom. It's your brother Kabar.
And Brother McCoy.
And back with another one. Lord willing to be edifying to the elect, Yahweh Bashim Hashai, Yahweh Kadash Barakatam, to all sincere listeners who may hear this. You see this video that really kind of inspired, this lesson here called Happening Not in the Kingdom. Because particular things, is not going to be happening in the kingdom, period. So let's see. Kind of were in the spirit, but I had a few lined up. Let me get that Deuteronomy 22. Slovakia. This is the book of Deuteronomy. Oh, you got it?
Yeah, 22 and what?
5.
22 and what?
5.
Deuteronomy 22:5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a woman put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are an abomination unto the Lord thy power.
Yep. So a woman shouldn't be wearing, all right, clothing that's pertaining to a man, all right? There's not going to be any tomboys in the kingdom, Our women are going to be in perfect subjection, all right, along with the men. We're all going to be in perfect subjection. We're all going to have law, statutes, commandments on our inward parts. So there's not going to be any transgressions of any laws, like this right here is a law in Deuteronomy 22, Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. So there's not going to be any cross-dressing. There's not going to be anything perverse amongst our people. If we see these other nations doing it, then hey, man, we're gonna handle that accordingly, But amongst our people, this is not gonna be happening,
Yes.
man.
I was going to get etymology for abomination. It said abominable thing or action, feeling of disgust, hatred, loathing, abomination, horror, repugnance, disgust. Shun as an ill omen.
Yep. So that's an abomination to the Lord, man. That's disgusting, right? Most High sees this as disgust. He gets a feeling of disgust, man. Loathing, man. Seeing a woman, all right, looking like a tomboy, as they say, And that's just, for starters, in the state of this place, it gets way more perverse than that. Women are actually, what I'm saying, turning into men, so-called, what I'm saying, in form of taking hormones and surgeries and witchcraft, things of that nature. Ain't nothing that gonna be happening in the kingdom, man.
God. Matter of fact, it's funny that you brought that up because the other day, these guys at my job, they like Lil Uzi Vert, and they know him from Philly, and they like, you don't like Lil Uzi Vert? I'm like, nah, he a whole F.
Demon.
Like there's something wrong with him. He be running around with low top shirts and matter of fact, you can Google real quick, Lil Uzi, or put in Uzi Vert purse. That bring that picture up. Show them I'm talking about. Guys like, yeah, man, you from Philly, you should like Lil Uzi Vert. No, I shouldn't. Not the stuff he be running around wearing. Like this is like next level stuff right here. His stuff he be doing. Back in my day, you wore stuff like that. You getting hands put on you. You see the one with the second one right there?
Yes.
Yeah. Right there, first one, the one you clicked on. That's a more zoomed in picture. Yeah, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just asking guys like, these are rappers. This is a rapper you like? He like, well, you see, he did this. He probably did this because of a joke, or it has a title. Why I say he did it?
Nah,
Oh, so yeah,
but
guys like, yeah,
let's
man.
say he gets clown.
Is he did it because he could have did it because it was a joke or because of Halloween, bro? It ain't no justification in wearing stuff like that. That's just sick. That's just sick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Actually, let me see. Get the other one. And was it Corinthians? You know what I'm talking
Uh,
about?
no.
Let's see. Let me type it in real quick. Yeah, First Corinthians 6 and 9. Let me get it.
I'll get it. First Corinthians 6 and 9. It says, "Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh? Be not deceived, neither fornicator, nor idolater, nor adulterer, nor effeminate, nor abuser themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkard, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of Yahweh."
Mm-hmm. Con. So these type of people, all right, aren't going to be inheriting the kingdom of heaven, man. You know, someone like that, unless Lil Uzi Vert repents, all right, from being effeminate, man. You know, he's not going to enter into the kingdom of heaven. He's not going to. He's not going to see that eternal wake, as he likes to call it. You know, he's going to have to come through the loins of the elect men, and he's going to be good after that. You know, he's not going to enter into the kingdom, all right, in this state. You know,
God.
yeah, that's not happening in the kingdom. You know, yeah, son, bro.
Yeah, Job 9:24. It says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So, and we know this is why you got Lil Uzi Vert that can do things like this. It's why you got Young Ma who can do things like this, because the earth
Mm-hmm.
is given into the hands of the wicked, and it's pretty much lawless. It's just like in the time of Cain, when Cain and his descendants basically ran the show. Wickedness is at an all-time high. Violence uh, runs everything. Everything is on the left-hand side. Everything is operating from the power of the left-hand side. But this is why things like this are allowed to happen. But like the title of the video, these things are not going to be happening in the kingdom, because righteousness are going to be in authority, and the wicked are going to go back to where it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That was it on that.
Con.
Let me see. I'm taking. Unless you got one, I got one. I think to land back. This is Isaiah 14, and start at the top. Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord, Hashem Hashai, will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel, and will set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So this is talking about in the kingdom, man. You know, we're gonna be in our own land. Just to read down a little bit. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. They shall make them take them captives, whose captives they were. They shall rule over their oppressors. Verse 3. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord, Yahweh Shem Hashai, shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage when thou was made to serve. Um, I think there was another point I wanted to make a point. Well, this here, you know, goes into the fact that it's going to be peace in the land, right? So you jump up to the first verse, you know, like when Israel, all right, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans who stem from the line of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, you know, when we're in our own land, you know, it's gonna the whole world's gonna be at peace, man. So we know, who dwells in the land of Israel. All right, they're not the Israelites. All right, because we're gonna be in the kingdom. If Israelites are in that land, right, then we're gonna be in the kingdom. That makes sense.
God.
But you have some.
Yeah, this is Proverbs 12 and 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduces them. You got it, bro.
Mm-hmm. Righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, man. The Israelites, man, we're just better, man. Than our neighbor, man. It was written, that one shall be stronger than the other, man. You know, mentally, physically, spiritually. But it says the way of the wicked seduces them, man. You know. So on this side, we see our people, being seduced by the ways of these heathens, man. Whether it's the Edomites, the Hamites, our people even want to be Buddhists, follow these other heathen nations, man. Our oppressors, man. It's supposed to be envy, not our oppressor. Ultimately, that's not going to be happening in the kingdom, man. We're going to be showing, what makes us more excellent than our neighbor.
You say what makes us
That was
excellent
that
in
was.
neighbor?
You can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Con.
I actually got
Yeah,
one
that's
for that.
okay. You say you got one?
Yeah.
What you got?
Romans 9 and verse 4. It says, "Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Yahweh and the promises, whose
Mm-hmm.
whose are the fathers, and whom, as concerning the flesh of Hamashiach King, who is over all, Yahweh bless forever. Amen."
Mm-hmm. So the Israelites, man, you know, that's who pertaineth the adoption, man. The glory, the covenants, giving of the law. We're gonna be implementing the law, which, Lord willing, we'll get that, in the kingdom. We're gonna be implementing the law. But right now, we can't implement the law, to the highest extent. You know, you have what they call the law of the land, you know, with all these different laws. It's really we're not the saints, different laws, like in Esau's law, it's what they call monogamy. But we know in the kingdom, you know what I'm saying? We were actually commanded, to be fruitful and multiply, and the scriptures actually go into, you know what I'm saying, how it's going to be in the kingdom. It's not going to be, how Esau wants it to be, you know, because Esau's really, he's really homosexual, man.
Con,
He's perverse. He's outside the temple of Yahweh Shem Hashai. So he's contrary in every sense, every form. No, that's the adversary. Slovakia.
con.
Let's get this in Proverbs 29. This is the book of Proverbs 29 and verse 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. So in the kingdom, the wicked aren't going to be bearing rule. It's going to be the righteous that's going to be in authority, the Israelites who pertain to the law, all right, the covenants, the promises, the adoption, and people will rejoice, not only people, but the trees, the animals, the birds are going to be chirping differently. That's what's going to be happening in the kingdom. But right now, the wicked are bearing rule. But that's not going to be happening, really soon. Lord willing, we those men, we actually get to see it.
God.
That's right. Brother, study with strength. Sirach 13-17. What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb? So the sinner with the godly. Amos 3:3. Can two work together said they be agreed? God. So we can't really be our best self on this side, man, when wicked are being ruled. We gotta just, what I'm saying? This place has to just be over with, man. This place has to be dissolved, with fervent heat, you know, and bring down to its lowest form for us to, build it back up. Really these heathens are gonna be building this kingdom back up for us.
God. Ultimately, the elect are living out spiritually as Jonah, because you see, like, Jonah was commanded to do something. Initially, he didn't do it, and then you see him get taken by the
The
whale,
fish. Hmm.
kind of fish, and then in his belly, and hell, what they called it, hell, which is the
Hmm.
belly, which is he's talking about torment,
Hmm.
is that was when he decided to repent and to cry out, and then he was delivered. And that's pretty much where we're at right now. We're in that hell, we're in that torment, and now we're crying out, repenting. When we initially was given the laws, the commandments, and we were told what to do initially, and we didn't do it. So now Yahweh sent that fish to come, and now we're crying out, trying to repent.
Hmm. I got one for you. This is 2 Chronicles 7 and verse 14. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from the wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, will forgive their sin, will heal their land.
Kind of that's what's going to happen now, and that's what is happening now. And guys that might say, well, what's taking so long? Well, when you look at the fall of Egypt, that didn't happen overnight, and he wasn't even bringing us out because of something that we did. He just bringing us out just because he wanted to make that happen. So he somewhat took his time and did it his way when he wanted to do it on his time.
Mhm.
And he's definitely going to do it again on this time. He's going to take his time. He's going to do it the way he wants to do it. But we know once the
Mhm.
gospel was pushed to the four corners through that happening, the left hand side and the right hand side of Israel is going to be sealed, and then
Mhm.
the end is going to come.
Mhm. That's right, brother. Habakkuk 2 tells you, it will surely come, man. It will not tarry. And we're at that time when these things are starting to pop like popcorn, as the brothers say. This is definitely going to happen. We're not working on our time. This is really how about Shem Havshah's time. 2 Peter 3. You know, a day of the Lord is a thousand years. Fuck,
Come.
I one. This is a Sirach 37 and 25. Well, yeah, let me just get this. It says the days of life of man may be numbered, but the days of Israel are innumerable. So once we get in the kingdom, that's it, man. We're gonna be in rulership forever. There's not gonna be any age. What I'm saying, another world. Coming after that, man. You know, right now, it seems like we've been waiting forever. Hey, man. You know, but we're actually gonna be in the kingdom that's literally gonna be, all right, immortal, man. So it's really a light thing, like First Corinthians, was it for Second Corinthians 4 or Romans 8 tells you, this light affliction is nothing. It's just a moment, especially to the Most High, compared to the eternal glory, man.
Sure, I got one. This is Psalms 37:35. You there, bro?
Con. Let me read it.
I was gonna read it. Psalm 37:35. I've seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. You got it, bro.
You got it.
So that wicked that was seen in power is obviously the wicked, and this is why that this place is in the state that is in, because wickedness has basically taken root, and ironically enough, said that it's going to be like the days of Noah, and then look at where we're at right now. Just like in the days of Noah, wickedness was basically running it, and right now again, wickedness is running the show.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Con. But that's not going to be happening in the kingdom. Period, man.
Con.
Land back the point you was making earlier in Sirach 18. I'm gonna just read 10 and 9 and 10. It says the number of a man's days at most are 100 years. It says verse 10, as a drop of water unto the sea and a gravel stone in comparison of the sand, so are 1,000 years to the days of eternity. So we've been waiting a couple thousand years, a few thousand years ultimately, right? But compared to the days of eternity, that's just a drop of water into a sea. So this is literally nothing, man. It's really a light thing, man. Just to make that point. Hey, Shalom, how about Shalom Shalom? Mm-hmm. Sirach 16 and 15, the Lord hardened Pharaoh that he should not know him, that his powerful works might be known to the world. That's right. So that's the whole purpose right now. He's hardened the hearts, all right, of the modern day Pharaoh, Esau, right? Ultimately, to make his power known. Ultimately, it's going to be another Exodus, coming soon to be delivered out of this Egypt. You have some?
Yeah. 2 Corinthians 4. Because like we did in the beginning of the video, you got young MIA and her wickedness, and not even just her. You can see that just generally going on between the so-called leaders and heads of Israel, like like Louis Vert, LeBron. You got his son smoking weed. You have basically all these various sellouts who are like for an example, what's her name? Cardi B. She's making it cool to like rob people for money, be a stripper. But this is 2 Corinthians 4 and 3. It says, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, and whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not. And the God of this world, Esau and Satan, they have blinded our people. That's why they're in this spirit of wickedness that they're in, which, like the title says, is not going to be this way in the kingdom. But there's going to be a remnant right now who are going to be in the spirit of the kingdom, and who are going to represent the kingdom in the light. It's going to be basically the representatives here right now and transition the kingdom to come. To put the matter of fact, it says it right here. It says, "Least the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of Yahweh, should shine unto them. For we preach not ourselves, but Hamashiach Yahushai, the Lord." Which when people like Young and May and all these other entertainers are selling out, not only physically selling out, but also selling out in a sense of giving our people this false hope, this false image. If you do this, you'll live good. If you do this, you'll have a good life, and ultimately are destroying our people, which is one of the curses that was set up in Deuteronomy 28, that our people were going to basically destroy each other, which we know is not going to be happening in the kingdom, because the only reason why we're under this predicament right now, Deuteronomy 28:15 and 28:15 tells you that this is happening to us because we're under these curses. But when we get those perfect bodies, we're not going to be able to break the law anymore. So there's going to be no need for these curses upon us anymore. So this is not even going to happen in the kingdom.
Yep. Might as well get that new covenant. In Jeremiah 31. That was it on that? Con. This is the book of the prophet Jeremiah 31 and verse 31. It says, "Behold, the days come, said the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah." It says, "Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, said the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai." Verse 33, "But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, said the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Hashai, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they shall be my people." You know? So we're going to have the law, such as commandments, written on our inward parts, man. We're not going to be going off naturally. It's just going to be something natural, like breathing, you know, certain things that we do naturally. That's going to be how we're going to be keeping the law. You know, it's not going to be something that, you know, we have to be conscious of, you know, like breathing. Verse 34, it says, "And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, Yahabashim Hashai, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, said the Lord, Yahabashim Hashai, for I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more." So just what we're doing, man. You know, these videos, you know, it's not gonna be happening in the kingdom, man. You know, our people are gonna all know Yahweh Shem Shah, you know, so we're not gonna have to teach, you know, our neighbor, you know, telling them to repent, because you know we're all gonna be good, man. Yeah, that was it on that. You had some?
I see you got the Jeremiah. You only read the.
I only read 31 to 34.
I'm gonna get the other part of that.
In Jeremiah or Hebrews?
Yeah. Hebrews 8:8, "For finding fault with them, he said, Behold, the days come, says the Lord, I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand and lead them out of the land of Israel, I mean out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not my covenant, and I regarded them not, says the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, says the Lord. I will put my laws into their minds and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord. For all shall know me, from the least of the greatest, for I will be merciful. I will be merciful to their unrighteousness and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. In that he said, a new covenant he had made the first old. Now that this decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away. Like brothers just said, we're not gonna teach our people, we're not gonna teach our people anymore. Everybody all our people are just gonna know. Everything's gonna be written on our inward parts, from the youngest to the oldest. All our people are just gonna just know, period. And like it says
Mm-hmm.
right here, Yahweh Shah is gonna be he's gonna wash away the iniquities. He's going to be merciful unto the unrighteousness that we've done. And this is obviously going to be starting with the elect is going to be washed by the blood of Yahweh Shah.
Mm-hmm. Come. Romans 8 tells you, to them he justified particular people that was predestined, to be called, them he justified, them he glorified. So, Most High, he's not gonna see, particular people's sins and iniquities. All right, Most High, he's not gonna remember all of Israel's iniquities, but starting, like the brother said, starting with the elect, you know, Lord willing, we those men, we're not gonna what I'm saying, be imputed, the iniquity, man. Most High's not even gonna see it, man. We're willing, we're gonna be justified, and with that, we got the kingdom, which Most High's not gonna see, there's not gonna be any iniquity, period. All our people are gonna be good at that point.
Con.
I got one just to make the point you was making earlier. This is in Deuteronomy 23. Just another example of what won't be happening in the kingdom. In verse 17, it says, there shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel.
Yeah, and that is not going to be among our people in the kingdom. But right now, we're under the curses. The wicked are in authority, and it's pretty much a free for all. Like dad ain't home no more, so it's like let's throw that party. Let's throw the party. Dad ain't here to play, so we just gonna do what we gotta do. It don't matter. We can do whatever we want to do. But that it shouldn't be among our people. It shouldn't be that way.
Right.
I got one right here. Ecclesiastes 10:6. For it says, folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. So folly is set at great dignity. That's what's cool. Eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. That's cool. Being a sodomite. Cheating on your girl. Well, not cheating on your girl, but cheating on your man. Cheating with other men's girls. That's what's fun. Having side so-called niggas is what they call it. Like that's what's cool right now. Hot girl summers, like shit like that is cool. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. It's just stupid shit. It's like a cool thing to do. It's just stupid shit to set up that people just really enjoy right now. It's a cool thing. Like is not cool at all. Righteousness is not cool. Wait, you actually listen to your man? Mm, I guess you wouldn't never catch me. I was watching this show called like 90 Day Fiance, and then you had one guy that was from Nigeria and another girl that was from America, and they was getting married, and then she came to Nigeria to meet his family, and they seen how the way she was all acting, like she talking about some 50-50 and all this other stuff. And then
Mm-hmm.
the Nigerian people, like his family was getting pissed, like, nah, the women got to be submissive. You can't call the shots. It ain't no 50-50. The man runs the household, period. That's how it goes. Apparently, that's Nigerian customs. So, and she was like, well, I don't care about that. I only care about American customs, how we run it. And over there in America, it's 50-50. But America is the epitome of folly. This is the place of folly. Everybody want to come here to do their wickedness and their folly. This is
Mm-hmm.
completely horrible.
Mm-hmm. Con. Yep. I was watching a video yesterday. It was someone at the UN. I forgot the I believe it's an African country, you know. But just for the sake of time, he just made a point. He said something like he's basically, resembling the same sentiment. But he was like, we are not the gays. Like he was basically making his stance clear. Like, nah, we ain't with whatever y'all about. Like, nah, we stand for certain morals, over here. I think it was probably about 4 or 5 years ago or something like that. But it came up on my feed, you know. But that's the spirit. That's the spirit. You know what I'm saying? Of Jake. In his righteousness. You know.
Hmm. Yeah, you got places like Mexico, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, uh, even Hawaii, um, Nigeria. You got a lot of different places where Jakes are like heavily, and keeping the laws and righteousness is not even is just thinking about it compared to America. It's not even hard. Like to keep a righteous
Mhm.
household is not hard because
Mhm.
it's is not really touched by Esau, so to speak. Like is already things set in place. Like I believe it's Dubai where women they can't even come outside uncovered. So there's already places that are already
Mm.
set up
Mhm.
where you could live righteously. Like it's not that bad. You could do it. It
Mhm.
is possible to get it done. But America is like the worst of the worst. Like we're at literally
Yeah.
ground zero right now. It's like the worst of the worst.
Mhm. Con. I forgot recently it was something. I feel like I don't watch TV like that. But like one time I turn on TV, first thing that comes on is like some type of abominable food. I forgot what it was. Some type of pork or something. I'm like, damn. That's what they feeding our people. Literally,
Mm.
and like, what I'm saying? Mentally, they trying to. That's that witchcraft through the media. Which I was
Hmm.
gonna get. But just to add to, like, countries like Jamaica, right? They got certain terms what they call body boys. You know what I'm saying? They don't play around with stuff like that with sodomites. So-called homosexuality. They ain't going down out there, man. Well, at least you know what I'm saying. The natural state. Our people ain't with that.
All right. Like we just
Like
brought
the law
out
says, they shall
the
be put to
ways of the
death and
wicked.
seduce them.
Con.
You there, bro?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
here. You got it, bro.
Con. This is Leviticus 20 and verse 27. It says, "A man also or woman that hath a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death. they shall stone them with stones, their blood shall be upon them.
Yeah.
So there's not gonna be any witches and warlocks in the kingdom, any wizards, any of that sorcery, man. Any type of witchcraft, they ain't going down in the kingdom, you know, especially amongst our people. That's not going down. These heathens, if we catch a heathen doing some type of witchcraft, then hey, this scripture here says they shall surely be put to death, and the Lord's gonna be in our inward parts. So it's gonna be just, what I'm saying, like clockwork, the Lord's gonna be implemented.
Well, if you really look at it, that was happening to us before Yahushua was on the scene. Once you would mess up, either the people or the angels would be right on your head. Or Yahweh Bashim
Mhm.
Yahushua, they'd be right on your head. As soon as you was messing up, they
Yeah.
right at you. It was
hmm
only till Yahweh came that we got that grace that we were able to basically not be put to death or punished immediately for certain things right away. But the heathen are not going to have a
Yep.
Yahweh Shai on their side. So it ain't going to be no grace period with them.
hmm Kind of ain't no mercy for them. Like there's no reason for that. On this side, we want mercy, so that's why we're giving mercy with our people. But you know what I'm saying? Why would the heathens get mercy? You know what I'm saying? They already done what they did, man, to the children of the Most High. You know, so they're gonna have
They
to
didn't
they got
give
to
us
pay.
mercy.
Yeah, right. So they not there's no hope for them. How we're prisoners of hope. They ain't got that on that side in the kingdom. They should just hope we take it easy on them.
You have one?
I had one from earlier. Well, actually, yeah, I got a couple more. But you have some?
You got it.
Con. It's just one just to go back to what you was mentioning earlier, because on this side, we see the state of our people, man. It's just really low level. This is Zechariah 11 and verse 5. It says, "Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty." It says, "And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not." It's like the brother mentioned earlier, our people, the so-called leaders of our people, you know what I'm saying? They don't pity, all right, the low state, that overall the children of the Most High are in. They only concerned about themselves. It's like that crab in the bucket mentality. Once you make it out, you don't care. And at the same time, you continually you're actually down with the oppressor. You're actually not speaking to the Akim. You know what I'm saying? But our people, a lot of the shepherds, the so-called leaders of our people, they're just continuing the oppression. Vote. Anything that's not with the scriptures, they're promoting homosexuality, transgenderism. You know what I'm saying? Just the whole image of the beast.
Well, you even got some people among the body that are doing the same thing too. Because
hmm
they're not promoting forgiveness. They're not promoting charity. They're not promoting uh, uh, love among our people. They're not promoting that. That's not being promoted. They're promoting cursing. And if he dies type of spirit. That's being promoted. So it's really all across the board among the woke and the so-called woke and asleep. It's really all across the board. It's corruption on every level.
Yep.
Matter of fact.
I got one. Unless you guys on.
You got it.
This is Saint Matthew 22 in verse 36, it says, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Verse 37 says, Yahushua said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind. Verse 38, this is the verse in great commandment, all right, which we already brought out in Hebrews 8 and then Jeremiah 31, that, the commandments are going to be written in our inward parts, so we're automatically going to be loving Yahweh Shem Shai, with all our heart and whole and soul, and all our mind. Verse 39, it says, and the second is like unto it. All right. Verse 39, the second is like unto it. All right. So it's just like the first commandment, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. It says, verse 40, well, these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Our people in the kingdom, we're going to be good, man. We're going to implement this law, loving our neighbor as ourselves, man, which we see on this side. As the brother mentioned, even within the faith, we don't see that, because for one, we're under the curses, and for two, Most High, he chose particular people, not everyone is chosen out here. Just because we're called don't mean that we're chosen. So you could just see like, all right, we need a savior, man, because we're not going to have to even tell our people to love our neighbors as ourselves. That's just crazy, man. You have to actually tell somebody to love your brother, man. But in the kingdom, that's not going to be happening.
And that comes from Esau, because if you got a physical brother or sister, your parents shouldn't have to tell you to love them. You should just naturally do that. But Esau told our people, if they're not from your mom or your dad, they're not related to you. So when our people are not treating each other correctly, it's because they're under the doctrine of Esau. Oh, he's not from my mom and my dad, so we have no relation to each other. They get that from Esau. Esau came up with that doctrine.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We're not the saints. That's the Western, the Western, mind state.
It's not like that out. The majority of places outside of America is not like that. Even among like the heathen or the Jakes outside of America, there's this it's a brotherly communion, like where there's like these Arabic places, these African places,
Mm-hmm.
The heathen or the Jakes outside and in these places don't act like that. They have this. They still, because you can see it when they come to America. You can see how they treat each other. I seen it all the time. When I was in Philly, I would see I would see like Arabs go to other Arab stores and ask them to borrow like food or whatever, or bags or whatever, because they ran out, and they would do it just off of the strength, like, this is my people. All right, I got you. But you see that with the heathen or with the people that don't, like the brother said, it's not in the Western mind state. Because that's what Esau has done, primarily to the Israelites here in America, to further cause that division.
Mm-hmm.
Even, matter of fact, it wasn't even, now that I'm thinking about it, Kabar, you could probably touch on it. You could probably attest to it too. But even probably back when I was growing up, like in the 90s, the early 90s, you would even have like people on a block. They'd be like looking out for each other, and it wouldn't necessarily have to be somebody you were related to, but just because, like, all right, we're the same people. I know your mom, I know your dad or whatever, and they'd be looking out like, yo, maybe if they had like cookout, they would invite you to it, or you be doing something you weren't supposed to be doing. They would tell your parents something along those, not in a sense to get you in trouble, but like looking out.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have that kind of vibe, but when you fast forward to today, just probably a matter of 10 to 15 years, now it's like, you better not say nothing to my kid, or it's just crazy now. You ever?
Yep.
Because I know you probably being from New York, I think was probably the same way. You over there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the love of many wax cold, man. The love of many wax cold, you know. But just like that scripture in Matthew 24 and 13 14, he that shall endure to the end shall be saved, man. So you got to have these traits, to be part of the kingdom, which I was going to get in Luke 17. But that was it on that.
Kind of.
I'm going to get this real quick. This is Luke 17 in verse 21. It says, just get to the point. This is Yahushua speaking. Neither shall they say, Lo here or Lo there, for behold, the kingdom of Yahabashim Hashai is within you. And that's talking to the elect, particular men that's walking around today. The kingdom is within those men, Lord willing, we be those men that's going to be able to actually take down the kingdom. We're going to be able to rule and reign with Hamashiach, and implement the law, statutes, and commandments, But it starts here, man. The kingdom of the Most High is here, within, particular men, and it's going to bring, all right, into fruition the kingdom, all right, where our people are going to be good. We're going to be keeping the law. These heathen nations are going to be in slavery. I could kind of read down a little bit. It says, verse 22, and he said to the disciples, the days will come when ye shall desire to see one of those days of the Son of Man, and ye shall not see it. It says, and they shall say to you, see here or see there, go not after them, nor follow them. Slakia, goes into it. But ultimately, the day of the Lord is coming. Is a time, all right, that the disciples, through the Spirit, they're here, are going to see it. But they was looking for that time 2,000 years ago. But we're actually about to see that time, Lord willing, be those men. When the kingdom is going to be established, man.
It'd be shocking if this is not the time. It'd be shocking because I can't even imagine this place going by another 10 years. It'd be crazy. Forget about another 50 years, it'd even be crazy.
Yeah, that is
will be a thing.
Yeah.
Pedosexuals, they'll have that out for sure. They already got this thing out right now where I think a child at a certain age, maybe like 7 or 8, he can choose his gender or something along those lines. But if we were to go, just imagine we had to go like how back, like your brother said, back then they thought it was the time of the end now, and we thought this was the time of the end. It wasn't it, and we had to go like another 1,000 years. This place cannot go another 1,000 years. That is impossible. I know for a fact that cannot happen. It is no way.
Yeah, that's right, brother.
Now with E running the show, I just couldn't even see it because things are like really bad right now.
Kind of not. No matter how you slice it, like this place, it can't go on for this long. I got one in Matthew 24. Slacky, which you know where I'm going. Slakia. Okay, Kyle. This is Matthew 24 and verse. I'm gonna start 21. Just to get to the point, it says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be." Yahushua speaking. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be." And we know this is the time that we're approaching, man. The beginning of sorrows is here, man. He describes particular things, the love of many waxing cold, Verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Got it.
God. For the elect's sake, the days are going to be shortened. So it wasn't for the elect, this place would be gone. Which just made me think of just now, when Abraham was talking to Yahweh Shemi Hashai, he was asking him, like what if it was 10 people in Sodom and Gomorrah, they could be saved, but you still destroy it? He was like, no. And he just kept going down 5, 3, 2, 1.
Mhm.
And Yahweh said, nah, man, if it's just one person, I'd deliver him if I had to. But right now, you got this place is going to be judged worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. And
Mhm.
Yahweh Shem Shai is going to deliver who out of the place? The elect. Just like how he's done it before. He's not going to allow the elect to perish in judgment. Just like how he brought Lot out, and just how he brought Moses out, just how he brought Israel out the first time from Egypt. He's going to do it
Mhm.
all over again. He's not going to. Matter of fact, they tell you that Sirach, Second Esdras 15th chapter. He's not going to allow the elect to go through this destruction. He's going to bring them out.
Kind of. Yep. Because you mentioned how ultimately just the state of this whole world, like that's you know that this place can't go for that much longer just based off of that alone. You know, the type like, I mean, it's already at a point where you see a woman, you have to double check and like think like, is that really a woman? Just imagine 10 years from now how much more common that's going to be if we were still here. That's just crazy.
Bro, women can get pregnant now. I mean, men can get pregnant. Like they can transfer like the body parts of the stomach and things like that into the man so he can get pregnant now.
Sick, man. I got one. This is perfect. St. Matthew 10 and 15, Yahushua speaking, verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for that land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city.
And you see Sodom and Gomorrah and all those cities, they were destroyed. That was only took 2 angels to get that done. And we know all the angels are showing up here. But they're gonna show up in general.
Mm-hmm.
All the angels are showing up for this, including Yahushua. Everybody's showing
Mm-hmm.
up for this party. So, and matter of fact, it's gonna be the first time Leviathan is gonna get loose too. So it's gonna be the worst of the worst of the worst. It's gonna be the block party of block parties. They're gonna show all the way out.
Kind of. Yep. Yes, Let
Nah.
me get this in First Corinthians. This is First Corinthians 15, and the point is in 50. It says First Corinthians 15 and 50. It says, now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Shai, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption.
Yeah, bro.
So I mean, this place is nothing but corruption. This place is as corrupt as it gets. This place can't inherit incorruption, man. This place just needs to be destroyed. In order for us to be in the kingdom. So the whole state of this place, the image of the beast. The whole philosophies of this place, homosexuality. Transgenderism, pollution. You know, anything that's contrary to Yahweh Shem Shai. Breaking of the law. You know, especially amongst our people, because the promises are only for the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? But that's how this thing goes, man. A lot of things going down today. It's not going to be in the kingdom, man. Period. If we catch an Edomite, you know what I'm saying, doing some type of abominable act, committing bestiality or something, then according to the law, that will be implemented quickly. Both that Edomite or whoever, and that animal, they're gonna have to get put to death, man. And that's just one example. Hmm?
Yeah, when you read that made me think about the mind state of Jake today. They'll be like, oh well, yeah, we know things are bad now, but we're just going to keep voting and maybe things will get better. We're going to keep protesting and maybe
Yeah.
things will get better. Like you just said, corruption is not going to just all of a sudden just turn good all of a sudden. You're not going to get good things out of a corrupt thing. And this place is corrupt. First, it wasn't even built to. It wasn't even built for the people, for God's people, for the righteous
Mm-hmm.
people. This place wasn't even built for. So it's never going to be for that. Nothing has changed. Like I know you've seen it. It's like a picture floating around. I can't think of that guy's name. Where they basically look like Emmett Till.
Oh, kind of not. Yep, I know you're talking about. I forgot his name, but yep, he was
Like
in
this place
was it
is not going
Louisiana.
to change.
Mm-hmm.
He's never going to like you. You're never going to be accepted. It's just not going to happen. And the sickest part about it is everybody knows the bad things are happening to the Israelites, but nobody's really doing anything of like really doing anything about it. Like when you look at
Mm-hmm.
when people are trying to save the rainforest or save
Mm-hmm.
those bears in China, I can't think of what they call the white and black ones. What are they called?
Was not the koala.
Pandas.
Panda.
Pandas. Pandas.
Yeah.
When people trying to save the like you got Esau, they'll raise millions and millions and millions of dollars for this to stop, for to try to save their lives. But nobody's trying to save the Israelites, and they know what's going on. Literally, anybody watching this, even you, Kabar, next white person you see, ask them would they want to get treated like a black person. They'll tell you no. They will tell
Mm-hmm.
you no. We would not want to get treated like that. I remember asking a white guy in Philly like that. I was like, "Would you want to get treated like a black person?" He said, "No, I would not like that at all." I said, "Why not?" He said, "I cannot handle that." So, so if you know what's so if you got the knowledge to say you wouldn't want that treatment and you wouldn't want to be treated that way, so I mean you know how bad it is. So it's like everybody knows,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody wants to do anything about it. It's just not a priority here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a priority.
Yep.
So this place is never going to be built for our people. It's got to come down.
Right. That's right. I might as well just read down. It says, verse 51. Behold, I shew you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. It says, in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, incorruptible, and we shall be changed. You know, Lord willing, we be able to experience that, man. That changing, man. You know, being changed from these corruptible bodies, man. You know, because in verse 50 it says, flesh and blood can't inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. You know, so being carnal, that's death right there. You know, being carnal minded. You know, you can't be carnal and be on a chariot. You know, that's not going to work. But it says here, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. It says, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality.
Read it again. That last part.
Con. Verse 53, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. Read down one more too. Just read 54. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory.
Yeah, but as you see, it's going to be actual changes got to take part first, which is literally talking about right here, physically on Earth. Firstly, coming into the spiritual and the mindset of Yahushua, which is the mindset of the kingdom. And then we're going to get those. Then those bodies are going to come to those people who are in that spirit and enduring to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no way outside of there's no way you're going to get into a chariot if you're not in the spirit of Yahweh Shemi Shai. That's okay. I ain't gonna say it's not going to happen because he's gonna have mercy on who he's gonna have mercy on. But that's not something I would bet my money on. Your best bet is to be in the spirit of Yahweh Shemi Shai if you want to get on a chariot. That's your best bet, and it's literally giving you the blueprint right here.
Yep. I got one. One of my favorites. Because we talking about, being in the kingdom. The particular things ain't gonna be happening in the kingdom, man. Particular men, in order to get delivered out of here, man. Like the brother mentioned, like you gotta be in a certain spirit, because that same spirit is gonna be in the kingdom. If that makes sense. Matthew 18 and verse 1. At the same time, the disciples came to Yahushua, saying, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" And Yahushua called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them. It says, and said, "Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven." It says, verse 4. It says, "Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven." So we gotta be humble, man. I believe it's Colossians 3 that goes into having that humbleness of mind, putting on as the elect. You gotta be humble. You have to be humble and be converted, because we're not gonna be converted if we're not humble, like we brought out in 1 Corinthians 15. We're gonna be changed, in order to be changed, you have to be in that spirit, man.
And being converted is not just it's two parts to being converted.
Mm-hmm.
It's a physical thing and a spiritual thing, which the physical thing being your acts and the spiritual thing being your mindset. Because you can physically be going through the motions, keeping the laws, acting like you love your brother, but in your mind, you only doing it because you have to do it. You ain't doing it because you want to do it. You doing it because you have to do it. And if you got ears to hear, like your brother like to say, you know what the difference is between doing something because you want to do it and doing something because you have to do it. It's like you ask your wife to do something, and then the whole way she doing it, she like in an asshole kind of mood about it. And it's like, yeah, you're doing it, but you're like being an asshole about it. So it's like a difference. It's like a whole difference. But it's a difference between doing it because you want to do it. Matter of fact, Yahushua, if I'm not mistaken, he said he likes a cheerful giver who's going to do it do it because they want to do it, not because they have to do it. He wants not only people, but that goes into the changing of your mindset. If you are humble in your mind, you're not, because when you look at children and in general, children in general, I ain't gonna talk about kids today because they are something else. Like, but I remember children back then, they'd be like willing to share. You ask them for something, they'll just give it to you. They're like they got this this what is it? What's the word I want to call it? They got like this natural loving spirit about children, and they're like kind of like really really trusting and forgiving, kind of like if you got like a dog is going to come to you and trust you and just love you, want to be around you like a baby dog. What do they call it? A puppy. But like I said, kids today, I ain't even gonna talk about them. There's something else. They're stingy, they're corrupt. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. Like your brother wrote out, unless those days be shortened, not even the elect. Days be shortened, the elected be in trouble out here. And looking at these kids and this new generation, how worse it's getting, bruh.
Yep, I got one. 2 Esdras 5 and 8. Because we're not even talking about the prophecies. Obviously, I mean, if you're measuring the time diligently, we see, all right, the mark of the beast about to be implemented. So based on that alone, we know how close we are to getting up out of here. But just the state of just the whole condition, man. You know, it's just it can't last. This is Second Ezra 5:8. There shall be confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be off set out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. So, you know, our people, man, you know, I mean our just the state of our children, man. You know, they call it Generation Z, I think, you know, but a lot of the parents are destroyed, you know, and they're not even teaching, they're teaching their children to do wickedness, man. You know, probably a lot of single mother households, they're teaching their, you know what I'm saying? Their sons just to be effeminate, you know. They want to be like a woman, start twerking, you know, and that's just a state of I mean, this place can't last that long, man. You know, I mean Esau, he wants it to be where it's just going to be you know, not only a cashless society, but you know, it's going to be AI. You know, no one's going to be natural. Everyone's going to be like some type of uh some type of robot, you know.
Mm-hmm. God.
So that's how we know you know, we that close, man. You know, in the kingdom, it's not going to be anything like this, man. You guys all?
Uh, yeah, Isaiah 29:16 says, "Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay." And everything is set up right now. We know Esau literally, he like took the Bible and decided, you know what, let's just everything. If they say go left, I mean, they say go right, we're going to go left. They say go up, we're going down. They say we like guys, we're going to like girls. Whatever is confusion and turned upside down, that's what we're going with. You can have multiple wives. We're going to say you can only have one wife. They're going to say girls can't do it. We're going to say whatever guys can do, girls can do. They've literally turned left at every corner they could. Any way he could turn left, he turned left.
Mm-hmm.
GPS rerouting all day long, all day. But that's
Yep.
Esau and Satan for adversary, which is their job. That's what they're set up to do, to be to be that left hand, to be the adversary, to be that great tempter.
Mm-hmm. God. Yep. That was on that.
Con.
I really got like one more. This is the book of Galatians 5 in verse, start at verse, you know, we could start up higher, at least 16. You know, the point I was going to make was in verse 21, but just to start at verse 14, yeah, I'm going to start at 14. It says, "For all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself." It says, "But if ye bite and devour one another, take heed that ye be not consumed of one another. I say, then walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh." You got it whenever. I'm gonna just read down.
This is when you go look up the etymology of fulfill, it means to fill up or to make full, because we
Hmm.
know that love is the fulfilling of the law, or like I just said, etymology to make full. Now we know according to Hebrews 10:26, we can't just do what we want out here. We can't just do what we want and say, oh well, I got love and we got the grace, so we're good. No. that the love fulfilling the law is basically going into basically like that boost that we need to get us to the finish line. Because when we break the law, it's step backs. It's just automatically step backs. But even if we try our best to keep the law here, and especially in America, it can't be done because uncleanness is breaking is uncleanness. We not is a work of the flesh. We can't do that. So if you're around somebody and they're in a period, that's uncleanness. Or but in general, it is impossible to keep the law. That's why Yahushua had to come. But love is fulfilling the law, which is going into we try our best to keep the law, and where we fall short at, outside of reasons that we can't really control, that's where the love is going to come in and fill in those gaps. But that love that it's talking about is not talking about a free pass to do what we want, and we can just like we can't just love our neighbors. I can't just be charitable, sending brothers money and being nice to brothers and um, being there for brothers when they need me, and then I'm smoking weed, committing adultery, and being a demon on my downtime. That's not going to cut it. We gotta we gotta try to keep the law to the best of our ability, and then when we fall short, that's where the love is going to come in to cover us when we need it, like insurance. Just
Mm-hmm.
as a FYI, because
Mm-hmm.
Christians say, "Oh, that love is all we need. We don't need the law. We don't need the commandments. All we need is to love. That is it." That is not true. You will die if you do stuff like that.
Kind of not.
More than you got it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Kind. It says, verse 16, this I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the lust, Slakia, verse 17, for the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things ye would.
So it said right there, walk in the spirit so you don't fulfill the flesh. Guys say, oh, well, you got to have balance. It's got to be balanced. First off, like I talked to your of God, you can't put everything on a scale. You can't say, well, I kept the laws 3 days of the week. They gave me 3 days of the week to go tear it up. No.
God, not.
Again, you will die.
That's double
You will
minded. That's
die.
not
Try it
balanced.
if you want. You said what?
That's double minded. That's
Say,
not balanced.
is that
Yeah, I love these
so
guys. I'm gonna hate these guys, but that's even. That's balance. You can't love everybody.
right.
Well, of your people, you're commanded to love your neighbor. Ain't no like
So
flesh. You can't balance the flesh and the spirit. We just reading it. One lust it goes against the other, man. You can't be in the
mm-hmm.
flesh and the spirit at the same time. So you gotta pick
Exactly,
one, buddy.
because you got the right. The flesh is going into hatred, variance, sedition,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got
Right.
on the right hand side you got peace and joy. You can't be at peace with somebody and hate them at the same time. You can't love
Mm-hmm.
somebody and hate them. You can't do it. Now I mean hate in a sense where actual hate, like you can't stand this
Mm-hmm.
person, not hate
Mm-hmm.
in a sense of love less, because the
Mm-hmm.
scriptures hate in some
Mm-hmm.
text is different than actual hate. It just means to love less. But we're not talking about that kind of hate. We're talking about
Mm-hmm.
actual hate. Like I can't stand this person. As soon as I see him, he's
Mm-hmm.
on sight. I'm talking about like that kind of hate. You can't hate
Right.
somebody and be having joy and peace towards this person. Can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Verse 18, it says, if it's like your but if ye be led of the spirit, ye are not under the law. It says, now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery,
It's like
fornication.
it said if you're led by the spirit, you're not under the law, which means what? Which is talking about the when grace is up, the penalty of the law. Because we know that right now, if you break a law, it's not more than likely it's not going to be an immediate penalty. If I commit adultery right now, more than likely I'm not going to get judged for that right away. But I'm pretty sure judgment is coming, but it might not be right away. Now, the people who are led by the Spirit and stay in the Spirit, they're going to be covered by the blood of Yahushua, so they're not going to be judged under the law when it comes time for judgment to come. Like when Jacob's trouble come, grace is going to be lifted. Right now, all our people are under grace. Even the so-called, even the wicked ones of our people are under grace. But come Jacob's trouble, that grace is going to be lifted. And then if you don't have, if you haven't been building up that spiritual currency, which is through the Spirit, doing staying in the Spirit is how you build that spiritual currency. If you haven't been building that up, when that grace is lifted, you're not gonna have nothing to cover you. But that's what it means to you're not with love is you're not read what it say?
It says, "But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law."
Yeah, that's what it means because we already know. Yahweh already said in the Apocrypha, I'm 100% sure aware that he's given no man license to sin. So there is no parameter where you can just break the law and think it's going to be okay. There is no parameters like that set up. That's how.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what that's talking about.
Mm-hmm. Con. Yep. It says, verse 19, "Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies." It says, "envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of which I tell you before, as I have told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai." Mm-hmm. So those
And one of the
things,
big ones in there is envy. Say it again.
you got it.
What you say?
You got it, bro. I think it's a delay. You got it.
All right, I was saying that and a couple of things is in there that's big amongst Israel is hatred, wrath, and strife. These are like big, like in Israel. These are like big things.
Mm-hmm.
And as you just read, these you can't get on a chariot. You're not getting salvation if you're in these spirits. It just you can't do it. The flesh is against the spirit. Yeah, bro.
Mm-hmm. Con. Yep. A lot of these, I mean, this is really contrary to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Adultery, obviously, that's a sin. Fornication, uncleanness, you know, lasciviousness, idolatry, that's, I mean, these are really, you know, transgressions of the law. Hating your brother, man. You're transgression of the law because we're supposed to do what? Love our neighbor as ourselves. So if you got hatred, man, then yeah, man, you in a bad situation. Ultimately, need to repent. You know,
God.
Jake like to, throw curses on other Jakes, man. Especially a Jake who believes that they're Israelite. That's just crazy to me. Like if you're teaching someone that they're Israelite, that's a beautiful thing because why? Because they still in the elect. Lord willing. They're helping wake people up. So why throw up curses on men like that? Let alone just any what someone would deem as a 2/3, like a little Uzi Vert. You know what I'm saying? He's still a child of the Most High, man. Even though you know what I'm saying, it doesn't look too good for him, but Lord willing, he repent.
God. You have people who kill you how shy. It don't
Mm-hmm.
get any worse than that.
Yeah, that's heavy. People who kill Yahweh who are still of the elect. That's just crazy, But that shows you how merciful our power is. And that's what we want. We want mercy. But that's something that's going to be in the kingdom, the spirit, you know. this right here, you know, the works of the flesh, this is not gonna be in the kingdom, man. You're not gonna see that in the kingdom, man. You know, amongst our people, especially Edomites killing
Con.
Edomites. You know, that's you know, it is what it is. You know, but you're not gonna have our people, you know, murdering each other, envying each other, murdering each other. You know what I'm saying?
Con.
But yeah, that was a point I could read down, just you know, for edification. But you have some
No, I ain't got nothing.
just to read verse 22. It says, "But the fruit of the spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith." All right, so this is going to be in the kingdom. It says meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
You got it, bro.
It says, Khan. Let me just read down a little bit. It says, verse 24, and they that are Hamashiachs have crucified the flesh with affections and lusts. So on the side, if we're part of that body of Hamashiach, you know, then we're going to have to mortify those old members, the works of the flesh, man. You know, I got a brother, you know, not going to say no names, you know, but a brother, you know, who said, you know, at camp, you know, he was in the flesh. He was about, you know what I'm saying? Things about to get physical, you know what I'm saying? But you know, that's part of the process of crucifying the old man, you know? You know, that's something that we all have to examine ourselves to make sure, like, all right, you know, that we're in the faith, you know, and we're in the right spirit. It says here, verse 25, if we live in the spirit, let us also walk in the spirit. Let us not be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another. Yeah, that was it. So that's not going to be in the kingdom, man. You know, what we need vainglory for? When in the kingdom, it's going to be true glory, you know? But Jake wants vainglory, you know, provoking one another. You know, Jake want controversy back and forth. You know, Jake want to do videos on other Jakes, where they at, point them out, like all that. You know, of course, scriptures talk about. You know what I'm saying? Mark them that cause divisions, contrary to the doctrine. But we want to make sure we're in the spirit. You know, if you truly want to see the brother repent, you know what I'm saying? Instead of you know, just oh yes, everyone just let's just come together and shalak right on that brother. That's not happening in the kingdom. That is not happening in the kingdom. And that, you know, I mean, I know that by faith, man. Ain't no Jake throwing up curses on another Jake in the kingdom. So if that's not happening in the kingdom, then why do it now? You know, that's you know hypothetical.
I was literally just thinking that too.
Oh, kind that's a spirit.
Kind. But that's a question, Jake, you got to ask yourself. If it ain't going down in the kingdom, why would you want to do it here? That's something you got to ask yourself.
Mm-hmm. Kind yeah, that was all I had.
Kind.
Yeah, Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. With that, we want to give all praises to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Hashem,
Bashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushai,
Hashem,
Bashem,
Rakah,
Rakah,
Kadash.
Kadash.
Double honors to the apostles and those who rule well. Peace and salutations to all the Sisiakium, enduring afflictions, making their calling and election sure. Shalom to the elect.
Shalom.